So, okay, again, howdy, howdy to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And to Mom in Tulsa, to my Uncle Houston in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to my Grandma Mam, and to my Aunt Ruth, and to my other mom, Patty. Good evening to Tulsa and everything there. So, the missus told me to talk about a couple of my poems. Apparently, she likes this kind of stuff, so I better do it. You know, I like to eat. I love you, Savannah Guthrie, my actual wife. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so here's one of the poems that I wrote back in 2004, October the 9th, 2004. Well, actually, I wrote it before that, didn't I? But this part was written in 2000, October 9th, 2004. Okay, so this is kind of broken up. So this is called Two Swans and a Crane, the name of this poem. And it comes from, I saw a photograph, I found a photograph online. And the photograph takes place in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, which is a seaport city. And, okay, so there's a bridge over the River Maas. It's called the River Maas, okay, in the Rotterdam, Netherlands. So this bridge is designed and it's called the Swan. It's designed to look like a swan, you know, a majestic swan, beautiful. So that's what they call the bridge. They actually call it the Swan. So this poem was about the swan and a woman named Savannah Guthrie and a crane overhead. There was a construction crane in the picture. So I thought, two swans. She was a swan, Guthrie's a swan, the swan, the bridge, and a crane. A construction crane overhead. So I wrote this poem about it. So I called it Two Swans and a Crane. And here's the poem about the bridge, the swan, Savannah Guthrie, the swan, and a crane, which was actually a construction crane. But in this poem, it's represented as a crane, the bird, a bird crane. All right. Here's the poem. Ignore this stuff. Just focus on this line, this bit right here. Ignore this too. Oop, I got a touch screen. So we're going to read just this part first, and then we're going to come down to here, and that's it. We're going to read these two sections. This section and this one. All right. Again, I'm not very good at reading this stuff, so I'm just going to read it. You can read it, phrase it, or whatever you got to, right? Okay. Two swans and a crane, taken from a photograph I found online. And the way the Dutch spells swan is Z-W-A-A-N, like you see in the poem right there. So I'm using the Dutch spelling of the bridge for swan. Okay, same meaning anyway. Bird, beautiful, majestic bird. The swan. She moves down the street as if floating on water. She glides gracefully toward a place where birds of a feather. It is a place of light she seeks as the day itself begins to fade. At a place of light and of peace and of calm and of still waters. As she reaches the spot, she finds herself in the company of another swan, and a crane is also there. Today the crane sits close to her usual spot, but doesn't bother her as she takes her place near the light. The crane sits as she and the other swan does, majestic and still. All right, let's get that. Oh, to dance with her in that space, a courtly dance, so full of passion and grace. A pas de deux, just me and her, us two. Oh, to take her hand in mine, and our hearts dance and our thoughts entwine. That's the poem. I'll read that there. Oh, to dance with her in that space, this section. A courtly dance so full of passion and grace. A pas de deux, just me and her, us two. Oh, to take her hand in mine, as our hearts dance and our thoughts entwine. That's the poem. Those two sections. All right, so you want me to do another one, Guthrie? Pas de deux eternally? Okay, it's on here. Hang on one second, folks. Let me find this one. Okay, I found it. This is this poem here is the follow-up poem to that first one, Two Swans and a Crane, based on that photograph. So I converted the whole scene to a winter's eve, prelude to a pas de deux aimé. Again, I'm taking the theme of the pas de deux of the two swans, because when swans dance, they do a pas de deux. You know, they dance majestically together, husband and wife, mates for life, right? So I did a little play on the French word here on this title. I don't know if it makes any sense to some, but prelude to a pas de deux. So prelude to the pas de deux, aimé, which is the second following the first, right? The suffix on ema in French is second, right? Second. So I wrote it cleverly. I tried to be clever. Prelude to a pas de deux, aimé. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense to Guthrie or not. Probably. She speaks French. Does it? Does it really? All right. So here's the poem. Okay, I'll let you read it. The snow has turned the weather to as pure and clean as her every feather. The winter scene is white, and still the swan she seeks the light of the season's shorter days and the sun's lesser rays. And upon her head is placed a crown pure, clean, and white, with the purity and texture of samite. This as down comes the snow, to match the down of her pure winter's coat she has lit aglow. And the crane sits and waits too, for the spring rains and all things made anew. The lake is now froze, as the snowflake that gently kisses her nose and warms her heart. I seek only that from before the start of a pas de deux. I will wait to dance with only her, just us two. I wrote that in 2004 for Miss Savannah Guthrie. I'll let you read it if you want to. You want me to hold it? They can freeze it. They can't freeze and stop. So they can freeze and stop. Let's start. All right. 2000. All right. Got it? Is that cool? Is that good enough? All right, so those are two of my poems. Those are, like I said, poems that are in sequence. The first one was the one that I read first, and then there's a second one in sequence. The Two Swans and a Crane poem. So I ended up writing quite a few poems for Guthrie during what I call the Dutch period, just what I call it, because it was a lot of Dutch stuff in it, and I was inspired with some Dutch things to write poems for Guthrie. So yeah, that's my foot. I'll put it down. I'm supposed to lay down, right? Guthrie's gonna lay on top of me. She's actually wearing with me now. So I need to say all this too, that all those poems that I wrote throughout the years, even back to 96 and 95 and 90, was it 94 or 95 I wrote the first one? 94? Okay. Father says it was 94 when I wrote the first one, so from 94 on, it's been about Savannah Guthrie, all the love poems and, the Tree of Life and writing, and one of my favorites that I'll give you right now. You want me to talk about that one? Should I visualize it after a while? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off then and send it. You want me to do? Okay, Guthrie, give me a kiss. And I can't wait to check everything out tomorrow. All right. I'll talk to you later. I love you, Heavenly Father. Not very much. So here we go.